Well, we're getting ready to put the wick on the Perfection heater, and see Miss Meow Meow is in there. And there's the she's got the blanket. Hi, you yawning? And that timer, I got it set for the night, and like every couple hours I got it, because it times out, I got it set to go off, and electricity goes back on, and it clicks the blanket back on. But that's her little house. She loves it in there. So we're gonna get this thing all fixed up right now. Okay, so here's the wick I got. It's not an original new old stock Perfection wick, but it is a Perfection wick. It's from made in USA. It should be all cotton. It's AW500. I just want to show you the dimensions on a wick, because I know I've been saying about all cotton wick seems to work okay with diesel fuel. You might have to like clean a wick a little bit on the top once in a while or something, or maybe mix some kerosene, but it's been working pretty damn good actually. And diesel fuel is like $2 a gallon. In some places kerosene's like $5 a gallon, so you know, it's worth it to me. I checked the width of it like that, so it's 2.85 inches, so like 2 7/8 of an inch, or 2.82 inches, 2 7/8 of an inch wide at this metal band. This whole thing here, the whole wick length, is about 8.5 inches. The wick on the top is about 1.5 inches. The band is about 2 3/4, and I guess the rest of it is about 4 1/4. So this is very easy to put in. Man, this thing is the best damn freaking heater. Well, there's no fuel in it now. It's really light. So you just open up the top. It's got a little latch, connects there. Now, when I got this heater, they really did a nice job painting it, but it had a very old wick in it. It had a very old wick in it. I soaked the flame spreader in vinegar so you could see exactly how it's constructed in all the holes. It just sits in there. In this, where it locks in place like that, with these little grooves, you can see when you're putting a wick up, that's going to be your wick height. Obviously, I don't have any wick left. You'll see what I mean. It wasn't because I ran it out. You don't want to run a kerosene heater out of fuel with a cotton wick, because you'll burn up about 1/4 inch of wick. But that was not my case. I know about that. It was just that it was really old wick. This is called a galley or something. I think it is. That's what you call it, right? It's got some more little holes in here. I didn't clean this with vinegar, but it's still very clean. It's all steel. Then you want to bring up the wick to the top and kind of pull. Might have to take the, well, that's already off the wheel there, so probably can get it with one hand. I don't know. Might have to do it with two hands and put the camera down. But you just, after it pulls up past the serrated edge by the wheel, you want to just pull it straight out. And you notice the old one has, well, you'll see when I pull it out what it looks like. So I just pulled it up by hand. You know, it's just a little spot where it was like kind of stuck. And you can see the way this one's split on the bottom versus the aftermarket one. But, you know, it's the same damn thing, except look how much wick is left on this one versus what it's supposed to be. Like, I got this used, so the wick was almost gone. And this is an original Perfection 500 type wick. It's got all those edges over here. So the aftermarket one, you got to line this up with the wheel. And you know, that makes it kind of easier in some ways, because where that wheel is, now I'm going to get a light to shine down there to show you where I'm talking about exactly. That wheel is, with this arm, it's got to go right in line with this. So in other words, if you had this type, you can actually put it in, you can mistakenly try to stick it over here and it would be all bunched up on the bottom with the wick. So in a way, I guess this is probably better to have it like this. This has 4 splits on the bottom. versus 2. I don't know, it looks like the same damn thing, same weave. Looks identical to me. Except for the only thing different about it is like this has more places where that wheel can go, but then again the wheel can only go right here, either right here or on the opposite side right here. Can't go anywhere else. That's just how they made this. And you know what the deal is? They probably just stamped it like this, so it was an easier way to manufacture when you have it like this. So in other words, this space to this space, and that's where the rivets are or some crap, and I don't know, and it has this is the stopper. This is the stopper too. When this stops the it only allows the wick to go up so high. That's another thing. That stopper, which it has right here too. You can see it right there. So it's very, 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 very simple. And I don't know if you can see in there, but this fuel gauge actually just pries right out, just like the filler cap on that side. And there's a float in there on the bottom. You can see it now. See the brass float in the bottom, almost in the right in the middle of the screen right now. That's the brass float on the bottom. When you put the wick in, you want to make sure the wick goes underneath that. And so you use like a long screwdriver to kind of guide it in. And then those serrated edges for this knob to turn up the wick, they go right on that. So it is it's simple, man. No screws or nothing. I mean, crap. Even if you want to replace that fuel gauge, which I don't think it'll break easily because it's a brass float, it's like you just pop it out. This pops out just like the filler neck, the filler plug. And I took the little pot out by the handle. It's just comes straight out. It's got this, goes there. And the only thing is it's very easy to put down the wick. It's just that where this little edge is right here, it's got to get past the metal, and you got to kind of go around here, push down, and then the teeth will engage on the side. You'll see, yeah, it's moving up and down fine. There you go, fantastic. And probably want to cut this little piece off of there, but you also could see my brass float on there in the bottom. See it very well. Probably just, it's right in the middle of the screen on the very bottom. The wick is below that. You don't want to have the wick above that because it'll make your fuel gauge look like it's empty because it's holding down the brass float for the fuel. So now you just got to put this on. The galley, I think it should be called. It screws on there. Sometimes you can put a little petroleum jelly on this, but it's very loose screws. It just goes on there like that. That's it. And then this flame spreader goes on here. It just locks in place when it goes up, right? So when you lift up here, should be going up. Seems like it's stuck. You know why? There's no fuel in there just yet. Here we go. Here it is. There's no fuel in there, so when there's like diesel fuel in there, it's going to be a little more lubricated. So that's another thing. And before you use it, this is what I was going to try to show you. Okay. This thing just drops in place, actually. You see how this can go up so high? It's like it only goes so high. And like I got about that much wick on there now, so it can go just quite a bit of wick. The wick doesn't really wear out very easily. Like that wick I have in that other heater is from 1987. It's an all cotton wick. And that probably should be changed, but I don't know where to get an all cotton wick. Maybe that could possibly work. I don't know. I'm going to take a look at that. It still works though. So now I'm going to fill it up. I'm going to fill it up with, you know, if you're using, I know some people say don't use this ultra low sulfur diesel. I've been okay with it, but you know, maybe you want to use 25% ultra low sulfur diesel and 75% kerosene or 100% kerosene. Do whatever you want. Don't do what I'm telling you to do, because, you know, I'm just saying I think it's a major cost savings, and it's a lot easier to get versus driving 15 miles away to get diesel, freaking kerosene, which is more than double the price. But, you know, do what you want. I mean, I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just really saying about how putting this wick in. But now the puppy's in there, and we're going to fill it up, and you're going to have to let it sit a good 15 minutes before the wick gets everything soaked. And at that time, it'll be fine. You'll be able to light it. So there it is. It's very simple. This thing is awesome. I think it's beyond awesome, because I don't have to take out these little screws on the side like the other heaters or anything like that. It just pops open. This thing, you know, if I put it back in here, there you go. And I have a really long funnel to, you know, put the fuel in here. And I'll probably put a mixture of diesel and kerosene for the first time. And like I said, do whatever you want. I'm just finding that the diesel is a lot cheaper, and I've been okay with it. Sometimes the wick seems to get a little more charred, but then again, I've also read that the kerosene wicks get charred a little bit too. You gotta either, you just kind of like, you don't like dry burn these kind of wicks. You just scrape off the top a little bit with a pocket knife where there's some charring. And you know, this wick, like you can see, there's nothing left of it. And the part that was exposed when I was turning it all up was maybe a 1/16 of an inch. Here it looks like an 1/8 of an inch. It's like, it was done, man. It was done. There's nothing left of it. So should be back to brand new specifications, good for another 80 years. I love stuff like this. It's making me want to get a 1945 Ford with a flathead V8, a flathead 8 V8 in it. Just screw all the new stuff, you know. The old tech is better all the way.